Sports. We've just seen Manchester United reach the semi-finals of this season's Carabao Cup. In the end, you have to say, first gear perhaps at half-time, but they came out storming and got the job done very comfortably.
Really good professional performance by Manchester United. You know, I said at the top of the show that although there was 8 changes, you know, some big players came in, good attitudes, players who wanted to obviously impress the manager as well, which is always a good combination to have, especially when you're playing a team from a lower league, because you can get a little bit complacent sometimes in your performance and your attitude, and if that does happen, then it opens the door slightly for the weaker opposition. And you know, they had 8,000 fans there at Charlton. They got a really good account of themselves, but they came up against a very professional performance tonight, and I always felt Manchester United were in control. It went a little bit flat in the second half, and that's when he made his changes. And when you look at the bench, you can bring on Eriksen, Casemiro, and then you bring on Rashford, who's on fire at the minute. Then you're always looking like you're going to score again, and that's exactly what happened. Rashford gets another 2, and 3-0. Nothing to be disgraced about by Charlton's performance. I thought it was a decent performance. It was a hard-working performance, but just lacked that quality in certain areas of the pitch. But they can go back with their heads held high, and hopefully they can push up the table and get into that promotion place. And good luck to Dean Holden.
If I was to be negative, just slightly negative about Man United's performance, surely with Manchester City coming up in the league, big game for them, surely you wouldn't want to bring on your big star players. Was there any reason why Man United was so flat in the second half?
Because I think they were feeling that Charlton was not. They were trying, but they were not a real threat at some point. You know, they could have done it maybe on set pieces. So, but I think they were a little bit better. You know, when Eriksen and Casemiro, went on. You know, I think the distribution was a little bit better. I think Garnacho was a little bit clever around the box. You know, only the goal was missing. I understand it was not the best performance of Man United, but they were controlling the game, I think. And there was not too much offensive substitute as well. Only Rashford, came on, and the young, I forget his name. So it wasn't one of the best performers United, but really serious. They controlled the game, and because they were 1-0 until long in the game, you were always on the threat of Charlton. But once Rashford came on, it was all over, I think, for them.
Another reason why he brings them on is, it's only Tuesday. The game Saturday is in relative terms in football.
Man City still play tomorrow as well, so
it's a long way off. You know what I mean? And them boys tomorrow, they'd rather play 20 minutes tonight rather than do a full training session tomorrow.
I know, but what I'm trying to say is it runs the risk of potential injuries.
Yeah, there's that, but you can get injured in training. So I'd rather play 20 minutes tonight and do a full session tomorrow and risk being injured. But these players know how to handle themselves. They know how to get into tackles, where to stay out of tackles, where the space is on the pitch, and they want to get out there and run around. It's a game where they're going to find space and they can express themselves. I thoroughly expected Rashford to get on the score sheet when he come on.
Look at that pass,
beautiful.
The Casemiro one, oof, the runs, and then Rashford. I think his second touch, it's a little bit heavy.
Yeah, it was.
Just managed
as well.
Just to that's the form of Rashford. Even though he doesn't have a really good touch, he just managed to put it in the back of the net. Look, boom! But still, it's wonderful. Again, I think Casemiro on the third goal from the outside of his foot. What a pass again! Control, just in the run, and then really good finish. So
that's a finish of a striker in form, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, he took it well with his first touch. His movement's great. He knows exactly where he wants it. And then his first touch there out of his feet, and then he has the coolness and composure just to slot it round the keeper. Maybe 6 months ago he would have been snapping at that. Nice and easy, puts it into Marcus Rashford. I mean, off the pitch he's done some phenomenal things, but on the pitch I think he struggled through COVID. I think he struggled with the managers that have come into Manchester United with different tactics, different ideas. I think Marcus Rashford is one of them players for me that needs an arm round his shoulder to be told he's a great player, to be cuddled every now and again. And I don't think some of the managers that he's had at Manchester, the man managers, I don't think he's had too many of them. So I think he's had to go through his troubled times at Man United, or his off form times. I think he's had to sort of figure it out for himself, and it's not always worked for him, and I think you've seen him sulking from time to time. But I think Ten Hag is a good manager for him. I'm not so sure if he's the kind of man manager that I need to see a bit more of him to kind of make a judgment on whether he's a fantastic man manager. He seems to have the skill set, but he seems to be a bit more of a technician for me. But I do think he knows how to handle younger players, the likes of Rashford, Elanga, these younger players in the team. I think he knows how to handle them and give them a little bit of support when he needs it.
But Ajax, he was brilliant, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Fundamental, really.
Yeah.
Getting into the Champions League semi-finals. Yeah. The way he brought up the youth with the players in the Eredivisie.
No, of course, and you still have a lot of young players, and I mean the experienced players have a great mentality. When you look at Casemiro, he just fit in, even though he won 5 Champions League. I think he's at the service of the group. Eriksen is fantastic, and on the pitch and off the pitch, because Rashford is doing well, because Man United is playing a little bit better because of Eriksen, Casemiro in the midfield.
I mean, I spoke about it at Liverpool when they were in their glory days. Milner and Henderson, Lallana, they run the dressing room for Jurgen Klopp. A manager can only do so much, but when he's out the dressing room, he needs senior pros in there doing the right things, being professional, telling the younger players how to conduct themselves, let the younger players see how they act in the dressing room, how they act off the pitch, what they eat, how they look after themselves. And I think what Ten Hag's done, bringing Casemiro and Eriksen and I keep forgetting his name, Martinez. Bringing them, there is Milner, Lallana and Henderson. They're the ones who sit in the dressing room when he's not there and conduct themselves in a really good fashion. He needed Ronaldo out. Ronaldo was a bad penny in that dressing room. He needed him out, and now they're starting to flourish. But I think the really, really good signings, a few eyebrows raised when they were brought in for certain things, but you need them in the dressing room, especially around these younger players. It's all coming together for him now. It's all coming together.
As you were saying at the top of the show talking about Ten Hag's recruitment. Was it 5 players he's brought in since he came to the club? It seems like, again, not the superpowers, not the big names that you expect, but they're gelling as a unit, gelling as a team.
Sorry, Didier, not the players. There is a blueprint with the younger players, and you want to move them on if you can and make money on them and build a team. But sometimes you need them older players in the dressing room, don't you?
Of course, I think the most important things is those 4 people. The goalkeeper, 2 centre half, and who you've got in front of the defense. They're really important. They're the balance, the hard disk of the team. Once you brought Casemiro and Eriksen, for me it was a big change. The time for Casemiro just to fit it in the team, and Eriksen, how he started the league was and to be stronger. With Varane, it's really important, and they've got experience. It's not only experience with, exactly. Yes. Not only experience with what they won, so they know how to win. They know what means to win. They know what they have to do to win, and they spread that to the dressing room. And the fact that everybody is relieved because there's a better atmosphere. You can see a Rashford, going on, a Garnacho being better. So yeah.
And then now I have one more player in, a World Cup quarter-finalist in Weghorst as well. If I ask you the question, where else would they need to strengthen Manchester United? Where would you say that would be?
Where else? But first, it's good for. I know this is not the best name, but you've seen at some point, in the first half, Weghorst is good. But where again? Maybe they will need. It's a bit difficult. Just.
Well, we say they're not the finished article, right? Can they compete with Manchester City and Arsenal this season?
Yeah, this season they can.
They can?
It's too unpredictable this season.
Okay.
There's a lot gone on. But listen.
So if they need reinforcements, Jason.
If I was looking at Man United, I'm not fussed on Darlow. So I think they need a top fullback. They need another centre half, because I think Varane is plateauing and he's on his way down a little bit. I'm not sure about Lindelof. Maguire's out. So you're looking at Martinez plus another. I'm not a massive fan of the keeper, but you're in the market now for 70-80 million. It's how much checkbook money you're going to give me. But if I'm thinking priority, I'm going centre forward, and then I'm going centre half, full back.
Did you?
Yeah, that's a really good point, And you need to strengthen the squad as well, all the time. There's you need to all the time keep your best player, and to strengthen the bench sometimes. The light will come from here, but yeah, you're right, Dalot and all the. But they're doing well, but they will need to strengthen the squad more in the summer, yeah.
Yeah, the only thing that surprised me about the performance is there's not more goals, but the one that they have got was a little bit special. From the get-go, they were just at Charlton. They dominated the ball, dominated possession. The movement was really good. And Charlton just got pegged back further and further, deeper and deeper, and it was just for me. It was just a matter of time. That's a little stroke of genius, that. But you always felt it was coming. If it hadn't been a bit of world class, it would have been a tap in somewhere else. They've been very, very good, and what we spoke about at the top of the show is all because of their attitude.
Can you defend that, Didier? I mean, can you get out to the man quicker?
This is exactly that, because they're sitting deep, So I think there is a little bit of room, just to go tighter, for the fullback and for the midfielder as well, just to come and help him. There's always, a way just to stop the shot. But look at that, his run, First, he's looking in the depths, and then he's looking. Okay, I'm gonna get wide, and then really ambitious, and you cannot beat that. I think, the whips.
Darlow makes a great run, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know if we can see it again. Darlow makes a dart and run into the box, and Anthony just pulls off and goes the opposite direction, which obviously creates all that space. So as much as you want to criticise the defending, the movement was really good. Watch Darlow here; he just darts straight into the box. There he goes. He's off. Takes all the defenders with him, and Anthony just stays on the edge of the box. And that's what the time that's created for him to set himself and just bend it in the top corner. Good movement, good finish. You just see him come into picture here. Watch Anthony there he goes. They just switch. Boom.
It's a great goal.
I mean, if you want to blame the defender, you've got to keep him on his right foot because he's so left foot.
But it's the only thing he could do from shooting from range, and this from Fred as well. Inches.
Yeah, it's a well. It's not too far. It's not too close, and he can put a little bit of power. A little bit of pace. On the ball. So it's really good. Maybe if he had a little bit more width, maybe it could have gone. Hit the post and goes into the goal. But they dominated a lot. But the thing is, you don't see that much Meno and Elanga. I think they just it's so congested that they don't get the ball enough. I think so everything is on the flanks. United are really clever just to find the space on the side. And I really liked as well. The all that ball, from Maguire to Garnacho, the switch was incredible. Garnacho he's going to be a real good player. The thing is, it's so young now that he has to have better decision. The danger come often from him and from the left. And I think like Dalot and Anthony, I think they work really well. Sometimes you can see Malacia, on the left, going inside, opening the flank for Garnacho. So for that, putting the ball in that area, it's really good. But the thing is, they need a little bit more cleverness in the box, and we need a little bit for Menu and Elanga in the box as well. McTominay as well, he has to do a little bit better, in his distribution, I think. Yeah.
I think it's a good point about Garnacho. I mean, he's got so much talent and ability, but he's so young. You can see the inexperience in him when he gets away from the defender and he's created that space for it. He's just got to get his head up and start picking the right choice of pass, because a few times he's gone for goal when really the little cutback was on. I mean, that diag is killing Charlton. Harry Maguire, given time and space on the ball, he'll deliver a pass, 60-yard diag. Garnacho, his touch has been brilliant. He's got away from the defender, but his final ball's got to be a little bit better. If he chooses the right option, they're going to create more chances.
Yes, Jason, because they were feeling a little bit frustrated as the game is going on, in the box. You could see at some point Anthony, then it's Elanga. Okay, we're there, So it's pretty normal. He's a right foot playing on the left, so obviously, because he doesn't have that awareness yet, he's always trying just to hit the goal. But cleverness will come.